Hello, everybody. My name is Susanna DeBaca, and I'm the president and group publisher of Business Publications Corporation, which is the parent company of DSM Magazine. And I am very pleased to welcome you to our annual Sages Over 70 Awards. I'm very proud to be a part of a company that cares so much about our community and that has decided to recognize such exemplary individuals in our community. Sages is a very special event for us, as we have the opportunity to honor amazing individuals who have shaped and who continue to shape our community. By recognizing these sages and sharing their stories, we draw on their wisdom. And in a year like 2020, with so much change and so much uncertainty, we need wisdom and perspective and also inspiration more than ever. As with many events this year, we expected to be in person for Sages, but we've adapted and we are happy to still be able to celebrate our Sages event, albeit virtually today. I just want to say in advance, we do our best, but if we have technical issues, if you hear a train going by because we're in the old depot or a motorcycle because we're near a major street, give us some grace, we'll figure it out. But we have a great program for you today with some surprises, so please stay tuned. First, I want to do some thanks as always. It's absolutely an honor to be part of such a meaningful event started by our fearless leader, Connie Weimer. Connie started Sages Over 70 in 2011 to recognize individuals who have not only made major contributions to our community professionally, but personally as well. On behalf of DSM and our sponsors, who we'll introduce shortly, I want to give a heartfelt thanks and congratulations to this year's honorees who you'll be meeting soon. You'll hear from them and about them over the course of our show today, and I know that you are going to be as inspired as I have been learning about them. Before we start, I want to recognize any past sages that we have honored and who are here today. If we were in a ballroom, we'd applaud for you, but as it is, we'll just give you a virtual round of applause, and wherever you are, I hope you feel particularly sage-like. But thank you for all that you do to continue to enrich our community. And of course, I want to say a special thanks to the DSM team. Our stellar editor, Christine Riccelli, and the entire team for their hard work writing and capturing each of our honorees' stories, designing the feature in the magazine, taking beautiful photos and creating inspiring videos, managing the technology, and working with our honorees and our sponsors. Plus, thanks to so many other business publications, colleagues who worked very, very hard to make this event run smoothly. As the event unfolds, I encourage you to extend the momentum via social media. Please post your selfies or pictures of the awardees and use the hashtag DSMSages. Now, one thing I want to make you aware of, we do have closed captioning today. So if you or somebody who you are viewing with would like the opportunity to see the transcript of what we're saying across the screen, you can go down to the bottom middle of your screen, and there's a little place that says closed captioning. You can make a selection and you'll be able to see the transcript through the entire time. That can be a very, very handy thing. I also encourage you to use the chat if there's an awardee or a sponsor who you want to congratulate or who you want to say something wonderful about. Blow up the chat function. We love to see the engagement that we would be getting if we were in person. Oh, the chats are coming in. That's awesome. So now let's go ahead and get started. I'd like to introduce and recognize the Community Foundation of Greater Des Moines, our presenting sponsor once again this year. The Community Foundation of Greater Des Moines improves the quality of life by promoting charitable giving, connecting donors with causes they care about, and providing leadership on important community issues. As they say, and I'm sure you'll hear Christy say, we're simply better together. and that is so evident by the exemplary work the foundation has done to bring people together to support our community. Community Foundation President Christine Alves has herself been an exemplary community leader, and I'd like to welcome her. She's going to be helping me moderate the program today, of course, with social distancing between us. Christy?
Thanks, Susanna. And thank you to our friends at DSM Magazine for inviting the Community Foundation of Greater Des Moines to partner in offering the Sages Over 70 event and in recognizing these very special pillars in our community. It's become an iconic event, doing just that, honoring icons. We're honored to partner in offering today's recognition and pleased to offer the Sages Over 70 Fund, which was established as a charitable giving tool to honor the current and former sages recognized through this annual award. The Sages Over 70 Fund supports the most pressing needs and promising opportunities in our community through the Community Foundation's grant-making programs. Never has the connection between honoring our community's most seasoned leaders and supporting the current and future needs of our community been more clear than this year. During this time of challenge, we've witnessed the strength that our community in action. Strength that comes from leadership, planning, and commitment to community carried out by those we recognize today as sages and the esteemed group of past honorees that they join. Our sages have positioned us well as we embark on the road to recovery. And for that, I know I'm speaking on behalf of our community when I say thank you. For over 50 years, the Community Foundation has been proud to work alongside partners to ensure we're meeting challenges and taking advantage of opportunities. It gives me great pride to say we were made for times like this. Times when it's tough, times when our neighbors need a helping hand, times when we must bring along all members of our community on this journey to create a community that's resilient and well-positioned for what lies ahead. Just as we've done over the past 5 decades, we stand ready to serve. And we truly believe we are better together, and we thank you for your support. Since the inception of this award, DSM Magazine has generously donated the proceeds of the event to the Sages Over 70 Fund. And we ask that all of you consider making a gift as well, in recognition of those we honor today or those we've honored in the past. Whether it's now or later this year or next, it's a great way to honor our current and past sages' birthdays, anniversaries, or other milestone moments and support the community at the same time. And we'll make sure the sage you recognize is aware that you've made a gift in their honor. Your gift is a lasting legacy to the Greater Des Moines community, just like the achievements of those honored in Sages Over 70. Before I pass it back to Susanna, though, I want to take a minute to recognize Wright Outdoor Solutions for creating this stunning backdrop for us today. With every intention of adding some life to the stage for our originally planned in-person event, their creative team quickly adapted and came up with this beautiful setup for us as we come to you today virtually. Here's a quick clip on how this all came together.
It is an honor to partner with Des Moines Magazine and support Sages Over 70 celebration. To be in the company of such great community leaders who have shaped where we all call home. And from what we've read, a few master gardeners also. A quick introduction on us. Wright Outdoor Solutions was formed from the merger of 2 companies that many from this area may remember well, Wright Tree Care and Herd Gardens. And we've been serving Central Iowa since 1928. We are a proud employee-owned company and offer the area's most complete package of services for the care of both residential and commercial properties. Whether your next event is a small, intimate gathering in person or virtual with many guests, our team can assist in transforming your space. From plant rental to living walls, we have a vast assortment of colors and styles for all types of events. From virtual meeting backdrops to building socially spaced pathways, there are so many options to create an event that your guests will remember. Make your event extra special with the gift of one of our beautiful orchids for your attendees, whether in person or remote. And don't forget the holiday season ahead. Make it extra merry and bright with professional lighting design and installation, custom decor, or one of our festive tree trimming kits.
Thank you to Christy, and thank you to the Community Foundation of Greater Des Moines and Wright Outdoor Solutions. I feel like I need to have you follow me around and create backdrops wherever I go. This stunning background really, really adds to our program. And now we will introduce our honorees with video comments from our sponsors in between. We are pleased to introduce these honorees to you first in a moving video tribute. And you can also find the SAGES profiles in DSM Magazine or online at dsmmagazine.com. Let's roll the video, Stacy.
I've always lived my life to the fullest and be damned what other people thought.
When something needs to get done, I get, and I feel strongly about it, I can get pretty aggressive.
Director of Cisco Foundation came up to me and he had a grant he wanted to give DMAC. And I said, why did you pick us? We haven't even applied. And he said, because you're a GSD. And I said, well, what's a GSD? He says, get shit done.
When I look in the mirror, I do not see a sage. Even if I did, I think my wife would give me enough feedback. Her first challenge to me was, say something sage-like. And I was at a loss. I never had a problem getting out of bed in the morning with a rocket coming out of my butt. I was excited about going to work. And really, 45 years later, I was still excited.
My neighbor said, congratulations on being a sage. I didn't know you were over 70. I said, oh, thank you.
Came back home on vacation, obviously, and worked for the company, for my father in the trucking business. And I'm sure that there were some people that kind of said, well, he's just here because his dad owns the company. I probably should have tried to find a job somewhere else and get some experience and hopefully successful experience so I could come in with a little more respect than I think that I did.
Probably passed up some opportunities and stuff that when I was younger that I might have done different. You know, I had a couple opportunities come forward to me to be able to leave Iowa, go places for jobs. So times I did try to go off, just wasn't for me, and so I came back home.
In looking back, I can't tell you that I would change anything. I mean, I've had a great life. My goodness, I grew up in a 2-bedroom apartment in the Bronx, New York, with a mom and dad sleeping on the bed in the living room. And to come to Iowa with a 61 Chevy, $300 in my pocket, to be able to have accomplished the things that I did, don't look back, you're not going that way. This may sound funny given my background of having taken care of babies for 25 years, but I wish, in hindsight, that I had known more about the challenges of aging. I think it would have made me a better listener and more compassionate toward my elders.
I think to be patient and let the process work. I have found over time that nearly every disappointment has a silver lining. And I've had many disappointments in my life that I thought were terrible, but had any of them happened, I wouldn't be where I am today.
We all make mistakes. And the best thing is just to own up to it, apologize for it, and learn from it. Because often we learn more from our mistakes than we do from what we do right.
I think it's paramount to surround yourself, both in your personal life and your professional life, with people of utmost integrity. When that happens, thinking the right thoughts, doing the right things, and dreaming the right dreams happens so much more easily.
Be a good listener, always be truthful, and be upfront. If something's going wrong and you know that it's wrong and you let it slide, it can cause a lot more problems later on than it can be up front. So I think integrity is as important as anything is.
I would encourage young people to find a way to be of service. It might not be through their work. And I totally understand that sometimes work is work, but find outside sources where you can be of service. And it will make all of the difference to how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your work, and making sense of the day to day.
Never let money define me. Never let, money be an obstacle for anything that I wanted to do or that I wanted for my kids. I found a way to get that done. You're poor financially, but I have millions in life lessons, and once you become successful or whatever, always reach back and help that next person up. That's a good way to be, to give back.
You've got to show up. And whether that's to organizations or churches or even in your own family, you've got to be present to win. And once you get involved with something you're passionate about, a lot of great things happen.
Always be honest and always look for the good in people. Look for areas in which we're similar rather than the areas in which we're different, and look to see how we can work together to get to the end that we all want to be.
There was a no quit attitude on my part. But I also knew you could only juggle so many balls. And I had a great ability to identify the bad balls and let them drop. I also learned as a kid, riding the trains in New York, when you're on the wrong train, get off. Don't stay on that train.
I want to say thank you to the community for this honor. My mother and Evelyn Davis and all those ladies that I worked with as a young woman would be very proud of where I'm at today. I hope I've inspired some young women, some young person to follow in my footsteps. Hopefully I've lived a life that is something they'd like to emulate.
I feel pretty good about it. You work under the radar and every now and then you get caught. I recognize a lot of the names that have been there before, and there's a pretty good group of names that are there this year.
It means so much to me to be recognized in a way that I don't see. I am humbled by it, and I am profoundly grateful.
This is fantastic. There are not many things to celebrate by getting older. I feel extremely honored and humbled to be with the group that's being inducted this year, and then the history of those who have been inducted in the past.
A little bit of me wonders if maybe a mistake wasn't made when they considered me, because we have so many wonderful people in our community. I was really touched to see what difference people thought that I had made in their lives and in our community's lives. And that meant an awful lot to me.
There's only a select few that get picked. I think it's pretty special. Well, you only wish that your message can get sent to the younger people. They're the ones that are going to make everything happen. This is a fabulous town. We've got great people that live here. There's no reason you can't be successful in Des Moines, Iowa. I just love this town.
And I just love that video. I'm sure that you'll agree that's one of my favorite parts of this event every year, is watching that video again and again, nodding my head with a smile on my face. So now let's get started with the fun stuff, honoring these sages. Our first honoree today is Rob Denson. We all have ways to improve other people's lives. That's advice from Rob Denson, president of the Des Moines Area Community College. and his colleagues and friends are the first to say he's improved the lives of others in countless ways. A farm kid from Iowa Township who drove trucks to put himself through college, Rob hightailed it out of Iowa to make his mark in insurance and law, which he did. But lucky for us, eventually he was drawn to education and back to Iowa and rose in the ranks to his current role. His work at DMACC has touched and changed many lives, and I would dare to say it's even saved lives. In particular, his creation of the DMACC Career Academy program, which introduces high school students to career paths. His board service for the Association of Business and Industry, the Greater Des Moines Partnership, and the United Way, along with his chairmanship of the STEM Connectors Higher Education Council, have helped our community and our nation. I've seen firsthand Rob's commitment as he worked tirelessly to establish the Evelyn K. Davis Center for Working Families, which offers critical educational programming that has impacted the lives of thousands of those who need it most in our community. He could easily brag about his accomplishments, but writes one of his nominators, a DMACC alum. The president, however, does not like taking credit for his accomplishments, but shifts those credits to his team or community instead. President Denson is a servant leader and a true character of humility. Please join me in congratulating Rob Denson.
Thank you very much, and let me start by thanking the Business Record for this age-disclosing honor, and Dennis Albaugh, Joyce Chapman, Ryan Wynn, and Suku Radia for nominating me. And for all the others who now or forever hold your peace, didn't protest, thank you. Sadly, only one person has told me I really didn't look over 70, but they are probably just being polite. But I'd like to make a few points, and I know you know how hard it's going to be for me to talk without a PowerPoint. But at 4 o'clock today, my wife Pat and I have been married exactly 50 years and 21 days. But who's counting? We are a great team, a lot of love, and she's been my total support for anything we've accomplished. Pat has kept me grounded and gives great advice, and I've learned to listen. We have wonderful children and grandchildren, each very involved in their communities and successful in their own right. Robin has her own real estate company and serves on the Gig Harbor, Washington City Council with Casey 15 and Truett 13. And Cliff is president of DeShazo Crane Group south of Birmingham, Alabama. And with his wife, our daughter-in-law-like daughter, Jenny, have Brooks 14 and Anna almost 12 and Shepard 7. We have been truly blessed, and we look forward to watching them grow and develop. And I want to thank Pat, my entire family, and Pat's family for their love and support over all the years. I especially thank my mother, Dolores, watching from Cedar Rapids today, for all her advice, support, patience, and encouragement, starting as my 4-H leader and Sunday school teacher. At age 95 and recently retired as the oldest granny basketball player in the United States, she still volunteers at Habitat Restore several days a week and works at several other helping agencies. She is remarkably smart, creative, and still can flat out work all of us. She's a great mentor and role model and makes the best sour cream peach pie and pepper jelly anywhere. She proves that the secret of life is hard work. And yes, Mom, I don't call you often enough. I want to thank all the people who have helped guide me on my life's journey, whether personal or professional. Too many to list by name, but some listening in today, and they know who they are. Whether at my one-room country school, the Kent Feed Mill in Homestead, Iowa, Iowa Valley High School, Iowa State University, the University of Florida, my Gainesville, Florida law practice, Santa Fe Community College, Northeast Iowa Community College, and now DMACC. They taught me that faced with any problem, challenge, or opportunity, don't accept the easy can't. Find the way to can. It makes all the difference in the world, and I've been blessed by so many very good friends. As stated by the philosopher Garth Brooks, thank God for unanswered prayers. Anything I have ever wanted and didn't get would have only prevented me from getting many of the blessings that have come my way. I love, and I mean love, the work I'm honored to do at DMACC. And I thank the DMACC board and all the DMACC faculty and staff for their hard work and showing up for our students every day. And to all DMAC donors and community partners, nothing happens without you. Of all the great jobs I've had in my almost 73 years, this is the most gratifying. I can't wait to get to work every morning, and I have now announced my retirement as 5 years from every tomorrow. No surprise that my favorite book is still The Little Engine That Could by Waddy Piper. I've read this to my grandchildren many times and to our childcare children. We all can because we think we can, and then we go on and do. Speaking of do, look at this world. We each have a lot of work to do if we want to give our children and grandchildren the opportunities and kind of life we have been blessed to enjoy. Whether it's the environment with massive islands of plastic trash polluting our oceans, or diversity, equity, and inclusion, our work is not close to being done. And whether or not we are retired from our professions, we aren't retired from life. We must pray for the world and be active wardens and guardians of its future. We should be worried, but undeterred in our resolute action. Congratulations to the other SAGE honorees this year and to all who have been honored in the past. They all have one big thing in common. By their continued actions, they demonstrate that those who have been so richly blessed were not put on this earth just to have a good time. With the talents we've been given and the assets we have earned and developed, we can do more. We and you are here to make a difference. As sung by Jerry Reed, we have a long way to go and a short time to get there. So let's keep going. I wish you all a blessed and wonderful life. Thank you for this great honor. And Mom, I'll call you this evening. Promise.
Thank you, Rob. That was absolutely fantastic. And no one warned me that I needed to bring my Kleenex because everybody would be thanking their moms and their families and everything else. So that was wonderful. Before we go on to meet our next sponsor, I want to take a moment to go off script slightly. People behind the scenes, don't panic. But I just can't help but want to show you a little bit more of this fantastic backdrop that we have by Wright Outdoor Solutions. You only see a small amount because I'm on a laptop. So I'm actually going to move the laptop and show you a little bit more of this. So look how gorgeous that is. And it goes off to the side. They have created a masterpiece for us from Wright Outdoor Solutions. So sorry, I said that's a little unplanned, but I did want you to get a bit of the full effect. So next, we'd like to introduce our next sponsor, Belin McCormick Law Firm. Since its inception in 1935, Belin McCormick Law Firm has been one of the leading law firms in Iowa. The firm strives to provide the highest caliber legal service to businesses, public institutions, and individuals located in Iowa and across the nation. Known for their commitment to the community, Belin McCormick has sponsored SAGES since the beginning, and we are very grateful for their support. Now we'll hear from Laura Ingram with Belin McCormick in this short video.
Hi, I'm Laura Ingram, a shareholder at Belin McCormick, and on behalf of everyone here, I'd like to congratulate this year's SAGES Over 70 honorees. Belin McCormick has been a proud sponsor of the SAGES Over 70 program since it began, because we believe it's important to recognize those who, through their philanthropy, leadership, and commitment, help to make Des Moines the great city that it is. Through their examples in areas ranging from education and youth involvement to medicine, to community involvement and business development, this year's honorees truly showcase what is great about Des Moines and the importance of giving back and creating a vibrant community. Once again, on behalf of everyone here, congratulations and thank you for all that you have done for the city.
Thanks to Laura and thank you to Belin McCormick. We now honor Allison Fleming. Take a chance on people is sage advice from Allison Fleming, a dedicated community volunteer and philanthropist who has been working for a multitude of important causes in Des Moines, her hometown, throughout her entire lifetime. Allison Fleming may not be the CEO of a commercial company, says Jim Stick of DMAC, but she is and always has been a leader, a volunteer, a supporter, a donor, and a driver of all things good for others in Central Iowa and beyond. Very significantly, what she brings to her work for others is her caring attitude for vulnerable or marginalized communities and the struggling among us. Allison's exemplary work for juvenile justice, child abuse and neglect for organizations like the Iowa Drug Court, Orchard Place, Youth Law Center, and Youth Homes of Mid-America has literally changed lives. And her service to organizations like Junior League of Des Moines, the Greater Des Moines Community Foundation, the Greater Des Moines Botanical Center, Roosevelt High School Foundation, United Way, Maddie's Circle, Simpson College, yes, the list goes on, DMAC's Iowa Culinary Institute, Jester Park Nature Center, and Central Iowa Water Trails, just to name a partial list, have truly shaped our community. Now, Joyce Chapman, her nominator, asked us to mention that Allison, a math major at Purdue, was into math and science way before most women were. And amazingly, she even has found time to tutor DMAC mathematics students one-on-one, always taking a chance on people. Please join me in congratulating Allison Fleming.
Thank you. Thank you to Connie Weimer, the ultimate sage, for her vision and implementation, not only for Sages Over 70, but for so many events and recognitions in our community. And thank you to Susanna DeBaca and the staff at Business Publications for putting this event together. Congratulations to all the Sages, both past and present. It is an honor to be associated with you. And to those of you who nominated me, your faith in me is heartwarming. Thank you. Thank you also to my family, who has eaten more fast food meals than I care to admit. When I had just finished chairing the Junior League, I decided I needed to cook some homemade meals, and I did 3 homemade meals in a row. I was sort of brought back to reality when our youngest daughter said, "Mommy, I really liked it when you were president of the Junior League." And I asked her why, expecting to hear because you did such great things for our community. And instead she said, "Because we got to go to all those great restaurants like McDonald's and Long John Silver's." Oh my gosh. Anyway, what that taught me early on was that 2 people can look at the exact same situation and come up with very different conclusions, something that's applicable today. We all want a strong community here in the Greater Des Moines area. And in that vein, when then Governor Branstad took a chance on me and appointed me, who had no experience or knowledge of the juvenile justice system, to chair Iowa's Juvenile Justice Advisory Council, he took a chance. I'm asking each one of you to give one of the caring, capable young people in our community a chance to shine also. Because of the support and the opportunity given to me, I was able to chair the National Coalition for Juvenile Justice. I co-wrote a training manual for the U.S. Department of Justice for state advisory groups, and then presented it to 48 states and territories around the U.S., and also testified 4 times in front of congressional subcommittees on juvenile justice matters, all because somebody initially took a chance on me. There are young adults out there begging to have that opportunity. And so, like the ABBA song, "Take a chance on me." Please take a chance on our young people. When I was doing my juvenile justice work, I read a book called Developing Capable Young People by H. Stephen Glenn. And in that book, he said, any child who has at least 3 adults other than their parents who are invested in him or her are less likely to drop out of school, less likely to use drugs, and if a girl, less likely to get pregnant before she graduates. You can be one of those adults to these young people, whether it's a grandchild, a niece, a nephew, a neighbor's friend, or a friend's child. What I've learned from this experience far exceeds any effort I have made. To this day, when I'm given a hug, and that's pre-COVID obviously, from one of the young people for whom I was important in their life as they were growing up, it warms my heart. Look for a child for whom you can be one of those 3 adults invested in their future. We know life can be very uncertain, as it is right now. My plan out of high school was never to get married and take the business world by storm. Obviously, my plans changed and my life is richer for it. Receiving this award adds to that richness, and I thank you very much.
Thank you, Allison. That was fantastic. Next, I would like to introduce our supporting sponsor, Global Atlantic. Global Atlantic creates retirement and life insurance products that support individuals through all stages of their financial lives. No matter what your plans are, Global Atlantic offers a broad range of options, from accumulation to income, protection, wealth transfer, and end-of-life needs. And now we'll hear from Dave Wilken, President of Global Atlantic. Dave?
Hello, my name is Dave Wilken. I'm president of Global Atlantic's life insurance business. Global Atlantic is a very large provider of life and annuity products, and we have a history that dates back many years here in Des Moines, and our life insurance business is predominantly headquartered here with over 300 people housed in our downtown location. You know, we have a rich history of giving back to the community through things like our involvement with the United Way. We're a large provider financially of the United Way and have been proud of our large per capita contribution from our employees, which dates back many years. So we know the importance of giving to the community, and as a result, we are very proud to honor and recognize you as SAGE honorees this year. We can't thank you enough about your involvement in the community and its effect on the community. I came to Des Moines approximately 3 years ago from Minneapolis, and one of the first things I recognized, it was the vibrancy of our community, and it only happens from purposeful actions, from actions like yourselves. And we really want to thank you for that. So congratulations, and thank you again.
Thank you. Our next honoree is Robert Pulver. Don't look back, you're not going that way. Advice from Robert Pulver seems very sage these days in a pandemic. Bob Pulver spent most of his life building his business, relationships, community, and a strong foundation for the future with his commitment to see his projects through to the end, says one of his nominators. As a young man from New York City, in 1961, Bob found himself in Des Moines for a job. Culture shock may be an understatement, but he quickly adjusted, eventually founding Allstate Industries, which supplies urethane, plastic, and die-cut rubber parts to Fortune 100 companies. While serving as the CEO and president for 45 years, he led the company to great success. It also fueled Bob's true passion for giving. Bob's civic involvement has been far-reaching. He was instrumental in building the expansion of West Des Moines with the developments of Glen Oaks and West Glen. He was appointed by Governor Tom Vilsack to serve on the Iowa Economic Development Authority Board. He has served in leadership roles with Variety, the children's charity, the State Fair, Iowa State Fair and Iowa State Blue Ribbon Foundation, Ronald McDonald House of Central Iowa, Mid-Iowa Council, Boy Scouts of America, Manhattan College, and Iowa State University. He's also served in leadership roles at Blank Children's Hospital. In fact, I worked at Blank Children's Hospital when Bob chaired the campaign to completely renovate the facility to build the world-class children's hospital our community deserves. I think Bob may as well had an office at Blank in those years. He was there so often, working tirelessly on behalf of our children. He has a willingness to assist others above and beyond financial contribution through his time, expertise, and ability to provide a unique business insight. Through Bob's work and dedication over the years, his reach and impact have been influential in helping build a better place for all of us to call home, and he has never looked back. Bob.
I got to unmute. They told me that. Good afternoon, everyone. What am I doing? Unmute myself. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Des Moines Magazine, all of the sponsors for this great event, and those individuals and organizations that submitted my name for consideration to be a sage. And congratulations to the other sages who are being honored here today. When I left New York in 1969 and headed for Lincoln, Nebraska, I never imagined the ride through life that I was about to take. I was a 21-year-old kid with $300 in my pocket and an immense ego that needed to be harnessed. At first, all I wanted to do was succeed at work and provide for my family. Unfortunately, Uncle Sam had a different idea for me, and I wound up as a medic at the Burns Center, Brooke Army Hospital in San Antonio, Texas. When I was released from service, I headed back to Lincoln to resume my career and was immediately transferred to Des Moines, Iowa. Des Moines has been home since 1972. And in 1974, with $1,000, I started a business that would evolve into Allstate Industries. We were an organization that produced rubber parts sold throughout the Midwest. And in order to stretch our reach to other parts of the country, I had this insane idea to become a pilot. I was befriended by a Catholic priest, Father DiCarlo, who taught at Dowling. He was an instructor pilot who in his spare time would teach anyone to fly as long as you rented the plane and bought the fuel. Of all of the things I've accomplished in my career, flying aircraft and ultimately owning and operating a jet is right up there with the top of my list. If you think video games are fun, try flying a jet at 550 miles an hour. Who would have thought a kid from New York who grew up in a 2-bedroom apartment with a sister, brother, 1 bathroom, and a mom and dad sleeping on a bed that pulled out of the wall in the living room could achieve this kind of success? Throughout my 46-year career, I was fortunate to have the advice of some very smart people who played a large part in the twists and turns my life was taking. Bill Knapp, Dave Miller, Orville Crowley, Bob Maddox, Bill Krause, Roger Brooks, to name just a few people I would call my mentors. I've had a supportive family, and my wife Deb has been right there through all the turmoil operating a business can bring. I can't thank them enough for being so supportive. In closing, let me say that over the years, I've picked up some slogans that I've lived by. You may forget this speech, but you'll remember some of these slogans. No hill for a climber. Cowboys don't cry. Don't look back, you're not going that way. If you think you'll lose, you'll lose. Time is precious, don't waste it. Learn to operate on 4 to 5 hours of sleep. Don't be a frozen asset. Learn to work hard and play hard. When you're on the wrong train, get off. Teach your kids that anyone can take it out of the pot. Learn to put it in the pot. Stay healthy. When you get older, you'll pay anything to have good health. And be kind to people. Anyone can be a jerk. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Bob. I've already scribbled a number of those down, and the don't look back, you're not going that way. And if you're on the wrong train, get off, are ones that I've already, I think, maybe shown up at meetings here at DSM Magazine. So we told you that there might be a surprise or two. And so to help me introduce our next sage, Pam Williams, who is the founder of the Isiserettes, are the Isiserettes. So, Stacy, roll the video. A very special thank you to the amazing Isiserettes Drill and Drum Corps for that very special introduction to our next sage, Pam Williams. And I said to somebody, oh, I want to do that. I want to be an Isiserette. And they said, it is exhausting. It's a lot harder than it looks. They make it look very, very easy. So we have a quote from Pam Williams, be somebody's support system. That's advice from Pam, the director and one of the founders of the Isiserettes Drill and Drum Corps, a nonprofit organization here in Des Moines that works with children ages 7 through 18 on expressing themselves through music and dance. Pam has been a support system for over 3,000 students who graduated from the Isiserettes program over the past 40 years, and she continues to be a guiding force in these children's lives today still, says Corey Williams. Without the Isiserettes and Pam Williams, many of these kids would not have completed high school or gone on to college. But because of her discipline throughout their childhood, these children learned how to persevere and understood the importance of getting their education. Pam has been a pioneer of community activism in the city of Des Moines. From leadership board or volunteer roles at the Des Moines public school system and nonprofits too countless to mention, Pam has worked to ensure that the Black individuals in the Des Moines community are treated fairly. She was instrumental in getting the Evelyn K. Davis Clinic started, and she devoted over 25 years of service before retiring from the Young Women's Resource Center, helping teenage mothers better their situation by giving them life skills, direction, and guidance. All of this, and she still found time to raise 4 children as a single mother and start the Isiserettes Drill and Drum Corps, which have been to countless national parades and competitions, including performances at the White House, as well as New York City parades and NBA conference finals, just to name a few. Pam says, it makes a difference when you have someone encouraging you to achieve your dream. Pam has been that person for thousands and has made our community a better place. Please join me in congratulating Pam Williams. Pam, you're up. I think you need to unmute yourself. She's going to get some technical advice here. I think you're unmuted. Pam, I think we can hear you.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good afternoon, and thank you for being here. I would like just to say thank you to the Des Moines Magazine and the Business Record for thinking of me and honoring me. I would also like to congratulate the other sages and thank you for your service. Guests, I hope you have had a chance to view and enjoy the celebratory videos in this September and October edition of Des Moines Magazine. Well done. I am truly humble. Shout out to Jason Swanson for always being up for a good laugh. Let me introduce myself to some and reacquaint with others. I am a proud Iowan that was born and raised here in Des Moines. I am a part of a large village that taught me early to care for others. I have had a lifelong passion for being involved in the community and don't plan to slow down anytime soon. I am a mother of 4, a sister of 10, and a grandmother of 10, and a cheerleader to thousands. I have spent the last 40 years dedicating my life to encouraging youth to reach higher than they may have ever dreamed. Having had the opportunity not only to see the experience bucket list and memories, I have had a chance to be a conduit to so many others. The Isiserettes Drill and Drum Corps is a nonprofit group organized in 1980 to give Des Moines area youth something exciting and positive to do within their community. The dance and drill style is a mix of hip hop choreography, precise marching pageantry, infused with an amazing array of musical percussion while always remaining in sync with the steps of the marchers. The youth range from the age 7 to 18 and are one of Iowa's performing treasures. The Isiserettes have performed throughout the state of Iowa, always taking their musical talents as far as West Virginia, Colorado, Tennessee, Minnesota, Nevada, Texas, North Carolina, Louisiana, Georgia, and the Kentucky Derby Pegasus Parade, the New York City Veterans Day Parade in 2009 and 2017, the 2009 inaugural parade in Washington, D.C. for President Barack Obama, the 2011 White House Easter egg roll, and for a second time in history, invited to the 2013 inauguration parade for President Barack Obama's second term as well. While the Isiserettes have been around for 40 years, our vision has remained the same. Tradition, pride, and dedication, promoting self-expression and creativity through music and dance with a sustained all-volunteer, I'll say that again, an all-volunteer organization. In April of 2018, the Isiserettes found a place to call home. Our new facility is just what we were looking for in a home. It has practice rooms, studios, office space, and a place to store equipment and uniforms. We have installed a computer lab where the kids are able to do homework and to work with tutors in order to maintain the team's academic requirements. Shout out to all that made this dream come true. Special shout out to a friend, Pat Snyder, who helped my dream materialize. This building and 40 years of existence is a prime example of pride, dedication, and perseverance in the end. This will help to ensure that our kids have a place to come, be safe, be proud, and the Isiserettes are committed to empowering our young people and planting seeds today that will blossom into greatness tomorrow. I will close with a huge thank you to all the founders, co-directors, past and present instructors, youth, families, supporters of the Isiserettes. We have an amazing staff of alumni members and lifelong Isiserettes marching strong for over 40 years. Without you, I would not be accepting this great honor today. Now, for those of you who know me, you know I've never been one to be in front of the camera or bringing attention to myself. But I want to share just one final thought with all of you today. If you're going to be a light, then shine brightly so others can see their way out of the darkness. Let your light shine as an inspiration to all of humanity and be the reason that someone believes they can achieve greatness. Thank you again, Des Moines Magazine, for honoring me with the 2020 Sages Over 70 Award.
Thank you, Pam. And I can see in the chats, people are recognizing a truly brilliant idea that's added an iconic element to the community, says Ambassador Ken Quinn. So we're getting some good engagement in our chats, and keep that coming. I'd now like to introduce our supporting sponsor, MercyOne Foundation. MercyOne is an extension of the healing ministry of MercyOne, inspired by the Sisters of Mercy. Through this heritage, they connect donors to critical needs. The foundation's purpose is to secure vital funding that ensures equal access, clinical excellence, and high-quality care for all. We thank MercyOne Foundation for their support, and we'll hear from Shannon Cofield, President of MercyOne Foundation.
Hello, my name is Shannon Cofield, and I serve as president of MercyOne Des Moines Foundation. We are very pleased to honor the 2020 Sages Over 70 who have greatly contributed to the wellness of our community. Wellness has a new meaning this year. MercyOne is your partner in health, as we are dedicated to help you live your best lives. As a part of this important mission, we have launched the campaign for the MercyOne Richard Deming Cancer Center, which will establish the region's first patient-centric, multidisciplinary cancer center of excellence. Inspired by Dr. Deming's compassionate healing ministry, we will transform cancer care as we heal our patients' minds, bodies, and spirits. In a normal year, 2 of 5 Iowans will be diagnosed with cancer. This need is especially urgent now, as experts are anticipating 10,000 excess cancer deaths nationally due to COVID-related delayed screenings and diagnoses. In the video to follow, you will learn more about this exciting community project. Thank you, and please join me in honoring this year's Sages Over 70.
Thank you, Shannon and MercyOne. Next, we'll recognize John Ruan III. If you plant the seed, things grow. So says John Ruan III, who has planted seeds that have helped our business community and cultural community grow. John Ruan has had a notable career as the chairman of Ruan Transportation. In addition to that role, he served as chairman of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce in Washington, D.C., and on the boards of countless organizations, including the Iowa Business Council, Hubble Realty, Chief Executives Organization, the Greater Des Moines Partnership, and the American Trucking Association. His nonprofit involvement and community accomplishments have been equally impressive and have made a lasting difference in our community. John and his wife Janice have spearheaded numerous beautification and expansion projects across Des Moines. Significantly, along with his father, John was instrumental in bringing the World Food Prize to Des Moines and establishing the Norman E. Borlaug World Food Prize Hall of Laureates. I think we can all agree how important the World Food Prize has been to our community and in the impact it's had in increasing food security around the globe. The seeds John has planted have grown and shaped our community and will continue to do so for generations to come. We now honor John Ruan III.
Sorry, I was having trouble getting it unmuted. But good afternoon, everyone. I'm honored and humbled to be recognized as a Sage over 70. I would sincerely like to thank the Des Moines Business Record for including me in this year's distinguished group of honorees, all who have contributed so greatly to our community. I would also like to thank Don Coffin, who kindly took the lead in nominating me for this honor. Throughout my life and career, it's been a great privilege to be part of the Ruan Company and learning the value of hard work. Being mentored by my father and eventually earning the responsibility of ensuring the longevity of our family's businesses. While there have been challenges, I am so grateful for my experiences and the opportunities that have arisen from my work and life in Des Moines. As my career has evolved, one of the greatest joys has been the ability to focus on philanthropy in ways to ensure the vitality of Des Moines. Partnering with my wife, Janice, we've been so fortunate with public and private sectors to create meaningful ways for our community to thrive. I'm grateful to be able to give back to the community that has been my home for most of my years, and I look forward to contributing to projects and causes that will continue to benefit Des Moines for generations to come. Again, thank you so much for this honor. It's really, truly appreciated.
Thank you, John. And now I'd like to introduce our supporting sponsor, Edgewater. Edgewater, a Wesley Life community, embodies Wesley Life's vision to transform the aging experience through a continuum of wellness designed to engage and empower others to live longer, healthier lives. Edgewater offers a wide variety of exclusive living options, from independent living to assisted living style memory support, and long-term care in a family style stay. We will take a moment to hear from Glenn Lewis, Executive Director at Edgewater, a Wesley Life community, in this short video.
Good afternoon. I'm Glenn Lewis, Executive Director of Edgewater, a Wesley Life community in West Des Moines, and I'm so pleased to be here with all of you. For those of you who are not familiar with us, Edgewater is a premier community on the western edge of West Des Moines that is home to hundreds of vibrant, active residents aged 55 and older. We are proud to offer independent, assisted living, memory support, long-term care, and short-term rehab, as well as a variety of home-based options for services and care, all built around a premise of enhancing health and well-being for those we serve. Like all of you, residents at Edgewater are involved with the greater community around us, and we focus on lending our skills, talents, and passions to make the world a better place. On behalf of Edgewater and Wesley Life, I want to congratulate this year's Sages. On our beautiful campus, we believe the second half of life should be the best half, and you are wonderful illustrations of that. By living lives of purpose and meaning, you help to dispel the many stereotypes around growing older. We celebrate you, we are proud of you, and we join all of you in the ongoing effort to transform attitudes toward aging. Thank you, and again, congratulations.
Thank you so much to Glenn and to Edgewater. And now I'd like to introduce Dr. Robert Shaw. Before attempting to rule the world, one should be required to tend a small garden. Those are the words of advice from Dr. Robert Shaw, or Bob, as he insists on being called. He and I have a bit of a background where it took me a while to call him Bob. He is a community leader and a master gardener who's tended many gardens, literally and figuratively, with selfless persistence. A native of Des Moines, Bob served in the Air Force and then embarked on a career in neonatology, eventually rising to leadership roles at Blank Children's Hospital. His professional contributions as a doctor ministering to tiny babies would be enough to qualify him as a sage, but he's also a lay minister and a current or former board member or leader of organizations too countless to mention, but including Planned Parenthood, Des Moines Area Religious Council, Children and Families of Iowa, Child Serve, the Des Moines Symphony, and the Iowa Arboretum. But being on boards does not make you a sage, says Lori Miles, his nominator. Bob doesn't just sit on boards to collect titles or give advice. Bob rolls up his sleeves and participates. Bob regularly drives a van to help hand out food for the food pantry. He gives and raises money for many causes. He offers his hand and opens his home as a Stephen minister to help people in need of stabilization. And no matter how difficult the situation is, Bob, an unabashed punster, has an on-point quip to keep the energy moving forward. Bob and his wife, Becky, share their gardening expertise and their generosity of spirit in their beautiful backyard garden, which you can see on his photo here, when they open it to host nonprofit events. It's clearly a place of beauty and love and a reflection of who they are. Always growing, always tending gardens, nurturing them with compassion. We now thank and honor Bob.
I am humbled to be included in the class of 2020. I studied for 13 years toward one professional goal, the care of sick and premature newborns. Over a 25-year career, more than 10,000 newborns were entrusted to our care. And I say our care because we were a team comprised of physicians, nurses, respiratory therapists, social workers, family support staff, and others in a highly specialized hospital setting. By and large, families did not choose us. Circumstance threw us together at the most vulnerable time in the family's life, the birth of a baby in need of special medical care. We worked to gain their trust by providing the very best care that we could over days, weeks, and in some cases, months. As a team, we strived continuously to achieve the maximum potential for each newborn baby. Over the years, I worked with literally hundreds of physicians, directly and through referral. But of special importance to me was that some of the delivery room experiences were shared with my wife, Becky, as a delivering obstetrician. I treasure those times when we teamed up together. She was and is my colleague, my confidant, and my best friend, going on 5 decades. After 25 years of this work, the average career expectancy in my specialty, I was physically, mentally, and emotionally spent. There was nothing left in the tank. It was time for a change. With help from some friends and community leaders, I was able to direct my newfound energies toward learning about and teaming up with nonprofits addressing local issues of homelessness, hunger and food insecurity, reproductive rights, and even gardening. 16 years to date, spent in a very different form of service, in its own way, rewarding and fulfilling. 3 life lessons learned. Number 1, champion the underdog. In my case, newborns, the homeless, the hungry. The overdog doesn't need your help. Number 2, there is life after a professional career, and our community needs volunteer efforts as much as we need to give back. Number 3, be a lifelong learner. I have maintained my medical license and my Master Gardener certification through continuing education offerings and have learned abundantly as a community volunteer. Thank you to those who saw in me glimpses that led them to submit my name for this recognition, and to DSM Magazine for this honor.
Thank you so much to Bob, and thanks so much to every single one of you. I am reminded of the words of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who said, "Fight for the things you believe in, but do it in a way that others will follow." Our sages may have been fighting for the things they believe in, standing up for the things they believe in, or simply paving the way, but they have all done it in a way that inspires us to follow. I'd like to thank everybody who had a part in this program today and who made this program a success. Of course, Connie Weimer, our sponsors, presenting sponsor, Community Foundation of Greater Des Moines, supporting sponsor, Global Atlantic, Belin McCormick, Wright Outdoor Solutions for this amazing backdrop, Wesley Life, and MercyOne Des Moines Foundation. DSM and Business Publications team, thank you so much for all of your incredibly hard work. And Sages, thank you and congratulations. What an inspirational way to spend our lunch hour. We're humbled by the accomplishments, the courage, and the wisdom of our honorees. They have left wisdom in their path, but they're still going strong. I hope you leave here today with a feeling of gratitude for all they have done and continue to do, inspired to follow in their footsteps to make the world a better place. And as we conclude our program, please stick around to enjoy another performance from the Isiserettes as we leave. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great afternoon.